Appreciate you guys tuning in. The Tastemakers Podcast begins in 5 minutes. Make sure not to go nowhere, because Quote, Brina, Trisha, and Corey, also known as the Tastemakers, will be with you in 5 minutes. Thanks for sticking with us. Oh snap, you still here? Listen, in less than 3 minutes, the Tastemakers Pod will be on and popping. Don't miss Bree, Quote, Trish, and Corey talking about the hottest topics in culture. Again, less than 3 minutes. Make sure to stick with us.
Tastemakers.
Classic. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers. Aight. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight.
I told y'all, patience is a virtue. This is what perseverance will get you. In just 60 seconds, you will be live with the Tastemakers Pod. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
For the new tastemakers, sommeliers came out to play. Classics in the current day. For the movers and shakers, for the new tastemakers, sommeliers came out to play. Classics in the current day.
The Beat Breaker. Tastemakers.
Yeah, baby. Bang on deck. Tis what it is. Of course, giving you a taste of the culture. It's the Tastemakers Pod. Y'all know how we do every Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on these YouTube streets. That be Trisha Bell. That's Light Skin Corey. They call her Brenna. They call me, quote, we are the Tastemakers, and thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Hey, yo, Trash!
What up? That's so funny.
Yo.
Kiara, you're hilarious.
Got the watch this going on down there. Shouts out to my man, J.R. Psalms in the chat, Jamal Rucker. Kiara, what's popping with you? Appreciate you being on standby.
Kiara, what up, boo?
All the rest of you guys in the chat as well. Make sure to let us know who you are, where you're repping, all the above. But y'all know we got these topics for y'all tonight. We're going to dive into that. But before we do that, it's been a long week. It's been a week. Man. And y'all know how we do. We check in. We see how everybody's doing. Make sure everybody's all right. Let's start with your man, C. Goss, fresh off an album release. How your week been, dude?
Ooh, boy. Listen, so I'm an artist, so I'm sensitive about my stuff.
All right,
you know
all right.
But at the same time, I just be feeling like I'm the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? But it's not even because of what the people be saying, because I'm not a words of affirmation kind of guy. So I don't be believing nothing that people be saying. Because they be like, yo, your album's fire. All right, whatever. You got to say that because you're my friend. Right? But like, I don't know. Like,
all day, by the way.
This may be one of them ones. Like, I'm not even going to hold you. So like, the album dropped, you know what I'm saying? After 2 fire videos, you know what I'm saying? The album Miami, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my Miami gear because of the album, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, the album was a good, you know what I'm saying? But then after my album dropped, I got highly disappointed because the boy, so those of y'all know I'm going to Miami this weekend. Was going to see Kanye, but the boy canceled. I'm so annoyed.
Why did he cancel?
$400 tickets. And Kanye was like, nah, I'm good.
Because he's a billionaire and he don't care about my $400 that I spent.
I'm sure he doesn't.
He don't care nothing about that. And they freaking got Kid Cudi to replace him?
That's weird. Yeah. That's a weird. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a poor man's Kanye. That's a poor man's Kanye. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm really trying to get my mood back up to where I was. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to think of the positives. I'm like, all right,
gonna be there.
I mean, you're right, but it's like, it's not Ye though. Like I spent that $400 easy to see Ye.
Yeah, I get it. I agree with you. As much as I love Kendrick,
right.
Ye show has to be better than the Kendrick show.
It's Ye, like, bruh. Do you know like Ye don't do concerts? Like he don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was listen.
You see Kyle's
yo, shouts out to
Octavius in the chat. DMing me, bro. I'm gonna block you.
Shouts out to Kyle Manning in the chat. What's up, Kyle? Shouts out to everybody rocking.
So yeah, make sure my weekend started. So my week started good, but then it kind of went low because Kanye canceled and some other things happened this week too. So I'm trying to get my energy back up because I got to catch this flight in the morning to go to Miami. So you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep it right. But yeah.
Yo.
So
Jamal and Kiara clouding you is hilarious.
Yeah.
We love you.
There are songs in Kiara definitely funny. Coming for you.
Yeah. I'm good for a good clown. Listen.
No, they got you. I mean, they definitely, from the Boss Goss to Capone Goss to Corey Esposito. You know what I mean?
Don't forget the loan shark.
Right. The loan shark Goss. Yep. Oh Lord, that's the loan shark.
They don't like my fit. They don't like my fit. Hold on.
No. I think they like your fit. They just saying, you was definitely Miami. Yo, wait, why he got the cocaine table in there? Like, if there would have been a line of cocaine on that table, I would not have been surprised at all. I mean, I would have been surprised.
Don't worry about what I got on that table. Don't worry about what I got on that table. Just know.
Listen, Brina, how's your week been?
Whew. It's been busy. At least I got the smoke detector fixed finally.
Amen.
Amen.
Is quote froze or am I tripping?
Huh?
Is quote froze? Oh no, you're good now.
Nah, he's not. No, he's good. So yeah, just
I
a
don't
busy
even know.
week. Busy week. Same old, same old. Everything's good. Good on this
Okay.
side. So
Almost had an internet scare at the last moment with your internet.
yep. So hopefully, everything stays the way it should be. So
Indeed.
keeping my fingers crossed and praying.
Whew. Y'all, they be scaring me last second. All of them, something be happening. They be scaring me last second. Lord.
First of all, Kiera, this ain't no Italian pimp. This is fresh from Fashion Nova. You know about Fashion Nova. Don't act like you don't know. I know a few dudes spotted you a Fashion Nova gift card. Don't act like you don't know.
Kiera said, I got to offer you gift receipts.
Birdman hammer.
JR Jamal said, nah, he's fly, bro, but you look like a character out of GTA 5.
Listen, I'm going straight to Little Cuba. I'm going straight to Cuba when I get to Miami.
You look like that's where you about to go.
I know.
Mhm.
They say I look Cuban.
Trisha Bell, how your week?
My week has been very I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I'm tired, but it's been hectic at work. And yeah, and this weekend I went out to Stellar's after party. I wasn't trying to go to Stellar's. Yeah, I wasn't trying to go to Stellar's, but somebody was like, "Come through," and I was like, "All right, I'm coming."
What them joints be like? Now?
Oh,
I feel like they're way more free.
No, wasn't free.
Oh,
well, it depends on,
They play gospel music?
No, I didn't go to the official. I went to 1K Fuse after party. His after party wasn't like the official Stellar's after party, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got
it. Was
it.
More
Normally the official joints ain't official either. They're normally always unofficial for the most part. For real. But they are extremely gospeled up.
Yeah.
Sometimes there is a little drink, just a little bit. But for the most part not. But anyway, I want to hear about this 1K Fuse joint. How was this joint?
Too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was interesting. So I was the guest of The Fix, the DJ Focus from The Fix radio station. And we was like, they ushered us to this room, and it was like Few was in there with Few and the crew was in there, and some other people. But it was at a karaoke spot. So I don't know if y'all have ever been to a karaoke spot where they have several rooms where you can like rent. It was, first of all, it was beautiful. It was very nice, very upscale. But there were like people in different rooms. But then at some point they had like a showcase in the middle of the space. So like all around, it was like rooms like all around, but then there was like the space in the middle. So everybody's in the hallways trying to see the performance, which was weird. It was a really weird setup. But it was I couldn't see everything, but it sounded pretty cool. But I ended up seeing a lot of people that I wasn't expecting to see. I know Aaron Cole, but we've never met in person. So I met Aaron in person. No, we never met in person. That was
Aaron getting big too. Aaron getting big.
I mean, he grown.
Aaron getting big.
He married.
Grown boy. Done got himself a wife too. He
Listen,
getting that cookie right now too. He get son. Yes. You get married, you get a few pounds, man. That's how that works.
Nah, he gained more than a few.
Can you get off of Aaron, Lord?
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Anyway, so I saw him. I met Trig. That was my first time meeting him in person.
Got you.
Focus was there, of course. I used to work with Jamie Grace, and she told me she was coming because she's out here in Atlanta. So I was like, I didn't tell her I was coming because at first I was like, I ain't going. And then I showed up, and it was cool to meet her and her husband, and we acted a fool for a minute. That was cool. And I saw Angie Rose. I saw Portia. Who else did I see? I mean, it was a bunch of people in there. Was
this Saturday night? Was this Saturday?
Yeah, this was the night of the Stellar's Awards.
Yeah. Congratulations to Few and Lecrae for winning Best Christian Hip Hop Album at the Stellars
Oh, I
Wait,
didn't know
who else
they
was gonna
won
win?
best album.
this
That's
past
good.
weekend.
Who else was
Mhm.
gonna
Yep.
win?
That's a very good point. It's a very good point.
Very much so.
That's a topic we might need to talk about. So it would have technically been for 2021, right?
Yeah, I think Aaron got nominated. I think Aaron was nominated.
He performed too. Him and Wande and Erica Mason performed.
Shouts out to Erica Mason.
Wow.
Okay.
Word. That's dope.
That's what it
And so one of my homies, he works in my church with me. His group was nominated for an award, and when he was down there, he said that it was good to see the Stellars embrace Christian hip hop.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying. So
I
he
was
was
really
like,
surprised.
it was a real good look that they had like a lot of representation. Because
Yeah.
Jared and Bizzle did the pre-show
Yeah.
and the whole
Yeah.
GLM.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like, when's the show air? Because I want to see the show.
Oh,
Now,
I have no idea.
sometimes they don't air for like a month later. Sometimes, so we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
how it work out. But that's dope. That's dope. No, it's good, and it's about time Stellars embrace Christian hip hop. The Dove Awards embraced us for a little bit, but it's good to see, the Stellars embrace them. So that's what it is. Definitely good to hear about you guys' week. Let's get to these topics, y'all. So for starters, we're gonna talk about. I always got to scroll and see what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about which female group had the best catalog, and we'll name those groups soon. Is Kim Burrell mean-spirited? We're going to talk about that. The negative effects of reformed theology on Black people, and are we raising our women to be men? And we're going to talk about interracial marriage and relationships. So we're going to talk about those things, of course, as y'all get into the chats. I see y'all. Again, make sure to holler out, say hi, Destiny in the chat, what's popping, different things of that nature. So y'all just say what's up, say hi. We speak to you. Our chat is its own community. So cats be going back and forth in the chat. We bring the chats post onto the screen. We talk to the chat. The chat be running things low key. We just here for entertainment. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. And Kyle, you can't be like that. Anyway.
Wait,
what? But before we get to the topics, we've got your meme of the weeks. Let's get these memes.
Oh Lord.
Yo, you're wild.
So Goss's meme of the week is himself. Would you like to read it, Goss?
Yep. So there's this girl who works at the front desk in the building I work in, and she was wearing a Howard University shirt. I asked her when she graduated, and she told me she didn't even go to HU. She just liked wearing the shirt. And she, in fact, went to VCU. She will now get roasted every time that I see her.
Okay. Cats do be, but hey, I don't knock cats for putting on for the HBCU.
Nah. Nope. I'm not with it. I'm not jacking it, as they say in New York. Nope. If you didn't go to that school, why are you wearing that shirt?
So if I wore a Hampton University shirt,
I would fry you. Oh, you'd be getting roasted right now.
But I was on radio for years at HU.
But you didn't go there, bro. You didn't pay no tuition.
I didn't pay no tuition.
That's what I'm saying. That's
I
like
was on
me
that
wearing
campus every week, though.
That's like me wearing a Kappa Alpha Psi shirt. Shout out to the Kappas. Like
that's different.
That is different.
Why is it different?
Because that's a whole.
It's an organization where you have to like do things to get into. Like,
fam, do you know what I gotta do to get into HBCU?
You know what? As I said it, I was like, well, I get it. I get why you feel that way. I don't think I would ever rock a school's like shirt that I didn't go to, but I don't see anything wrong with it necessarily. Just because like Howard University is a very prestigious like Black school. So I feel like
even though it's not the real HU.
Right. And like Destiny said, they did that a lot on 90s sitcoms. Oh wait, I didn't mean to agree with that.
Shouts out to Kiera. Kiera, it's like we be wearing sports team. Cats don't be playing for the teams.
Right. True.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
I don't see the issue.
All right. Well,
I don't
she
see
got
the
roasted
issue at all.
today.
Next.
Okay.
Every time.
Next meme. White people be like, that girl you hate is here. Black people be like, your best friend just walked in.
That
was the wrong quote.
Oh,
That was the wrong quote. You used in the wrong tone. Just to let you know.
okay.
It's
Okay.
Yeah.
Aficionado of white people. How should the have been?
Yes, exactly. Because they'd be like this. That
Right.
girl you just hate is here.
right.
Oh, that's the with the
Yes.
phlegm in the back of the throat.
Yes,
That's what it should have been.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Anyway, I
And then
just love
Deandra will be like,
Okay.
your best friend just walked in.
Facts.
So love how Black people just we turn everything,
Literally.
and this is so true. Like, why do we do this?
100%.
Your best friend.
That's just
is
who
like,
we are.
it's so funny.
Yo,
Yeah.
that is
We make
hilarious.
it fun, bro. We make everything fun.
Yeah,
Facts.
that's a good point. It's a good point.
That is true.
Next.
All right, this one's mine. Me when my friends can't drive and be braking too hard.
Wow.
Out the seat.
Why they got the dog like? Oh my gosh.
Yo.
That's terrible.
I just want to know what really happened in this photo.
Right.
And how you get a photo midway, like
Right.
Like,
We took it-
like, what's going on here? There's a lot of questions here.
yeah.
There's a lot of questions here. Listen, my friends will know they can't drive if I'm in the car because I'll grab onto the joint.
Wow.
I'll just grab onto the joint and be like, and that's how you know I'm judging you.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
All right, what we got next?
All right.
Oh, mine's a video.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. We will repurpose the heck out of some plastic bags.
Absolutely.
100%.
Fact.
Yeah. Keep
We
a pack of them
recycling.
joints. Yep. Keep a pack of plastic bags stuffed in plastic bags, either underneath the sink or in the laundry room. You never know when you're gonna need it.
Facts. Yeah.
Extremely multi-purpose situations there. So that is what it is. Again, you've got it tuned right here to the Tastemakers Pod. Make sure to like and subscribe. We are officially about to get into the topics there. Who did what?
What's happening?
No, I'm laughing at that quote.
Why?
What do you do?
Because you're so radio, bro. Like, you're so...
Oh.
Like, yo, like, quote, you gotta chill. Like, nobody's, like, trying to make sure you sound like you're... Like, yo, just talk, bro. It's cool. Just use your regular voice.
This is my regular voice.
Let him be him.
It's my regular voice.
Let him be him.
I'm sorry. It just sounds
So,
so
So,
corporate.
like I was saying, make sure to like and subscribe and let us know. Let me start. No. Anyway, yo, listen. Do all the things. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend what it is that we do right here at the Tastemakers Pod. Yo, we got a show for y'all tonight. We hope you guys are ready. Definitely get them chats up, get them likes up, and all that stuff. So, again, the chat is where it's popping. Drew John is in the chat. Shouts out to you. Y'all definitely keep us entertained and let us know what's going on. So, first topic. Best female group catalog. Who's got the best? Between
Okay.
TLC,
Ooh.
Destiny's Child, and SWV.
Yeah.
Goss, we'll do this real quick. I know Goss, so
Yeah, you
I'm just
know I
gonna
don't
say
know music like this.
Goss, yes.
I'm gonna say Beyonce every time. Because, you know.
Okay, so you're gonna go Destiny's Child. Got you. Okay, Drew Don is definitely saying SWV in there. Okay. Brina,
I'm
actually
going.
my inspiration for the topic because of your tweet. So
Really?
Yeah.
I'm actually going Destiny's Child on this one.
Okay.
Just because of the number of albums that they've put out that have had consistent hits.
Okay.
But
they had 3 albums, right?
They had more than 3 albums.
Did they?
Well,
Yeah.
the
They had 4. They had 4.
Yeah. I think it's
Right?
like 4.
but they were all different because they weren't all.
They weren't all the same members.
Destiny's Children.
Weren't all the same members, but yeah, I'm going Destiny's Child.
Okay, Destiny's Child. Interesting. All right, Trisha Bell. What you say?
See, this is hard
TLC,
for me.
SWV, Destiny.
No, this is hard for me because first of all, I'm a huge fan of all of them. Like I remember each era very, very well. So like for each era, I was like hardcore TLC fan when I was 10 going in. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't too proud to beg, like all of it.
Listening to lyrics you had no business listening
No
to.
business. I had absolutely no business listening to any of their albums. But it's when you first said it, I was like SWV. Like that was the first. You didn't even say any groups. I just thought SWV because of like I feel like their hits were just bigger back then, just because of I don't know, just maybe it was the nature of like that era. Like we was just going hard for a lot of their songs, and they had a lot of collaborations with rappers, and they had you know what I'm saying. So I feel like their hits were bigger, but of course Destiny's Child did have some hits. I just feel like just because it was Beyonce, I mean Beyonce herself by herself has surpassed Destiny's Child, right? But so I would have to go with. I think I'm going to go with SWV on this one because
okay. All right.
Well,
listen.
Hard.
Listen. This is a tough one. So I don't know that there's any real wrong answers here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go Destiny's Child just because. I mean, as much as I enjoy Destiny's Child, their music is not like it put me there. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. They were more geared to women, not necessarily like everybody, like men and women.
That's a good point too.
Yeah.
Shouts out to DC, but I love their hits.
For sure.
And when they dropped Survivor, I mean, like that was number one for many weeks. Survivor, you know what I mean? So, but really, it's between SWV and TLC for me.
Yeah.
The grooves of the slow jams of SWV they really talked to me. They really talked to me. They really did. From You're Always on My Mind to, of course, everybody would say Weak All Day Long, to Use Your Heart and Not Your Mind, to Rain Down on Me.
Yeah.
But
you
the
might be
number
right
one
about
selling
that.
female group of all time is TLC.
Yeah.
That's the number one selling female group of all time.
It's so hard.
From No Scrubs to Fan Mail to Creep.
All of them.
To what? Red Light Special.
Oh my gosh. That Crazy
Ain't
Sexy
Got Time to Beg.
That Crazy
Oh
Sexy
my God. What About Your Friends? Baby. So it's hard. TLC, SWV for me. I think Waterfalls.
I know. Iconic for sure.
Scrubs. I'm going with TLC, the number one selling female group of all time. So I went TLC, you went SWV, right?
No, I'm going back. I'm going to TLC. I promise you, I was over here like TLC. They really transformed. I feel like they shaped. They created a culture. You know what I'm saying? Just the way they dressed and the way they was thinking back then. It was very like progressive. You know what I'm saying? Even though it was. Yeah. We shouldn't have been listening to anything.
We should have been listening to him at that time. Left Eye was my favorite. Left Eye bossed out with a condom on her left eye.
I love Left
Eye. Left Eye was my girl.
Yeah. She had a condom on her left eye?
She did.
She did.
To the lyrics
in a glass.
Ain't Too Proud to Brag. I mean,
a condom?
That's what she wore.
Back then, they had condoms all over their clothes.
Yeah.
Why?
Crazy.
It was supposed to be a promotion of female feminism and safe sex.
Yeah.
That's what
early 90s. Yep.
Yeah, that's what's supposed to be. Charles Brown in the chat. What's up, Charles? So listen, and somebody said, why not Escape? Destiny, I'm gonna be honest with you, Escape had a run. They had a serious
They
run.
did have a run.
They had a serious run. There was a time when Escape almost became the female New Edition, almost. But no. Escape and SWV came out the same year, and SWV beats Escape at the end of the day, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Even though
I
I
feel
think
like
Escape,
they didn't have enough. They did not have enough hits. I don't feel like their catalog was hefty enough. You know what I'm saying?
Escape got some hits now.
They do have some hits. They do have some hits.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, for sure.
Candy was writing.
No, for sure. I know TLC was 21 when they came out. It was 21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? That's why they look amazing.
But listen, this is where the chat intervenes, and this is where the chat lets us know what's popping. J.R. Psalms said, okay, I hear y'all say TLC and SWV and Destiny's Child, but which one of them had the biggest hit? J.R. Psalms wants to know which one had the biggest hit. What y'all thought?
40. Was she? She was like 23 or 24 or something. She was older. Looking like she 15. Crazy.
Y'all ain't gonna answer the question. Which one had the biggest hit?
Chili was on Keith Sweat's Make It
What? I don't know.
I don't either. It's gonna be between SWV and TLC though. I think.
I already got it in my head. What's the biggest song in my head?
Well,
which
one?
Then?
But I'm waiting for everybody else to get in.
You feeling pretty?
I don't know.
Oh, I forgot about Pretty too.
I gotta listen to it. Now I gotta go back.
It's between two songs, and none of them are Destiny's Child songs. Is because hold on. So what would be Destiny's Child's biggest song? It would be Survivor, right?
I think it would be that or
biggest pop song, biggest popular song. Not
probably.
Yeah, it's probably Survivor. Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that's their best song by any means.
No, but the most popular,
yeah.
So
not Bills.
No, so it wasn't that.
I don't know if that was a pop.
Say my name.
So Kiera, the MOP made a rebuttal song to what? To Scrubs? Oh,
Scrubs,
yeah.
No, that was that wasn't MOB, was it? That was
Sporty Thieves.
Sporty Thieves.
Yeah.
That was Sporty
right.
Thieves. Sporty Thieves. No pigeons.
Say my name wasn't bigger than Survivor.
Destiny says "Say My Name" was bigger than Survivor. I don't know that it was. I don't know that it was. I think it's a better song. Maybe it might be a better hit in my opinion, but I don't know that it was as popular.
Independent Woman might be a second close because wasn't it a part of a soundtrack?
Yep, Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels, yeah, that was.
But Say My Name, you might be right. I just didn't.
I'm about to Google it.
Huge, yeah.
But listen, I think the answer is between TLC or SWV. Once again, I really think that SWV's Weak is it does better than all of everybody else's songs. SWV's Weak. That's my personal opinion right there. SWV's Weak.
Yeah, against Say My Name, I just, yeah.
They saying Say My Name.
Say My Name was their biggest single.
That's what
Charles said. Waterfalls versus anything.
Period. Waterfalls was bigger than everything. Period.
Waterfalls. I mean, I listen, man. Listen. I see the rainbows yesterday. You know what I mean? But too many times. I mean, I'm saying, I'm not against Waterfalls by any means. Waterfalls was ridiculous. The video was so groundbreaking at that time as well. And it was TLC once again pushing the envelope, now talking about AIDS and amongst other stuff like that. So
they need to do a verses. Bro.
At Anything remix? With was it it was Method Man and what's his name? Child, my memory. I know his name. I can see his face. What's the man's name?
I can see his face.
What is his name?
I don't know, but hold on. Inez, then you tell me what song was the biggest hit out of those three? Like I said, Weak meant the most to me. Waterfalls would be probably it's between Weak and Waterfalls for me.
ODB. Oh my gosh, Lord.
ODB. What song are you talking about though? What song was that? ODB.
Anything.
SWV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to do, I'll do it. Oh, anything that you want me to do. Are you serious? How you don't know this song?
I don't know either. I thought I know every SWV song in the world.
Wait, that's like one of their biggest hits.
Hold on, are you singing it different? Hold on, Brina, sing the same song. I can't sing that high
right now. No.
He said, Brina,
sing anything for me. SWV, anything.
That probably ain't gonna happen because it's gonna be pitchy.
Right, nabbit. Y'all gonna make me pull up the song.
Just pull it up because I'm not going to
press play.
Y'all is horrible.
SWV was not more popular than Destiny's Child. No, they probably weren't as popular, but they got better songs, I feel like. And I love Destiny's Child.
Oh, no. Oh, I did forget about the real original. Okay, let's check out the remix. Oh, yes. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, that's not what you were singing. I'm messing with you.
No, I was down a couple of octaves.
Okay. Yes. I know what song this is. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So definitely. The hit makers, appreciating the ladies groups, definitely doing it big. Of course, I don't know that there are any losers in that because those were some great joints. Yeah. But that Gazelle was definitely Beyonce-esque in the first one. Okay, just checking out the chat.
Shakira. Sorry.
Yeah.
Shakira. What's the name? In the Sing movie, the Gazelle was it was actually her voice. Shakira.
Oh, okay. So Inez, you're talking about SWV not being more popular than Destiny's Child. No, you're absolutely right. Destiny's Child was more popular
for sure
than SWV. For sure. You're absolutely right about that. Mm-hmm. Yes. But SWV, in my opinion, made better joints probably. For sure. But anyway, so that's just my opinion. So next topic, keeping the party going. Y'all know how we do. So Kim Burrell, so for one, anyway, let's just play the video.
Please, because I ain't see it.
You got to choose up. Find you some value. You know, sometimes before we get friends, we have to do an interview. How long have you been broke? How many times have you changed your name on your light bill? How many of your bills in your little cousin's name? Do you live in a trailer home or a house? You know, you understand. And it's not about status or material things. It's just about choices. You know, life is different now. And, you know, we are at church. Thank God we're here. Those of us who are walking by faith without a mask and no vaccine. And so we honor the Lord. God is good. I respect all of the men of God here and respect you. Can y'all clap so I don't feel strange right about now? Hopefully we'll get a chance to meet each other when y'all invite me to come to your church. I'm not as expensive as I seem.
I didn't see
that. I don't know. Maybe you got a little left over from your PPP loan. Prayer, praise, and power. You understand? Amen. Isn't the Lord great? Amen.
Isn't the Lord great?
You know, I like coming here because the ground is already tilled with great personality like Dr. Karn. Because one thing I love about him, he's deep in the word and knows how to have humanity. And most don't understand his personality because he is true.
I'm not too fond of him either.
And he tells the type of truth that makes most uncomfortable. Because who likes to be told you're just ugly? No one likes to be told that, you know, especially when they have realized it. All right. Most don't get offended until they know the bad thing about themselves. And then somebody else recognizes and says, oh, I saw the ugly too. I just wanted to let you know. So anyway, y'all get that later. God is great. All of you are beautiful. I haven't chosen anyone to be ugly yet. God is good. God is great. You all look great. Most of you have on hats covering most of that anyway. Here's to you.
Yeah.
I have a great personality. Okay, I'm gonna sing. Daily I shall.
But why the lady looking like this? She's looking like if this woman don't shut up and sit down somewhere.
Listen. So Kim, you know, obviously, you know, be doing the most, but
the most.
So would y'all consider that to be mean-spirited, or was those just jokes? What
No,
would y'all
it was
say?
absolutely mean spirited.
Yeah.
You were not giving any life to anyone. Like it was not Holy Spirit talking, it was all flesh. Like you just sound like she definitely was having drunk auntie vibes for sure. I think
That was some drunk auntie
Kyle is
vibes.
on the money with that one. I would not be surprised if she was high or drunk or something because she was just talking crazy. I feel like as a believer and with someone like her status, like you're a legend, ma'am. You're a literal legend. Like her voice is
Legendary.
Y'all know.
Mhm.
It is.
Honey, you cannot be just saying stuff like that. You're literally talking down on people. Like, what are you talking about, sis? Sit down.
Trisha is clearly highly offended. I mean, I didn't get offended because I think stuff like that is funny. So, like, I'd probably be in that service and just be weak because I'd be thinking it was funny. Like, even if I was ugly, like, I just feeling like, yo, that joint is hilarious.
No.
Like, because, like, I can think about when I used to be in high school and they used to joke on my forehead. But, like, if it was funny, I would laugh with you, even though it's true. Like, I know I got a big forehead, right? So, like, they would say stuff like, yo, like, we'll put a DVD in your mouth and watch it on your forehead. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that joke would be funny. And that joke would be hilarious. Bruh, I used to get roasted. But, like, I'm a good sport, especially if it's funny. But, like, if it wasn't funny, then it'd just be whack. So, like, I don't know. I like stuff like that. I like personalities like that. So, I mean, if people got offended, then, you know, then her apology that she said, she probably, you know, then she needed to say that. But, you know, dude like me, I don't care about that kind of stuff. I think it's hilarious.
Did she apologize?
She did. Well, she said words that were supposed to amount to an apology.
What did she say? Do we have a video of her apology?
No, it was like, I think it was like an Instagram post that had like.
Nah, she made a video too.
Oh, she made a video too? I didn't see it.
Did she?
They played the video today. Or I heard it on the radio.
Okay. I didn't see that. I saw the paragraphs.
Brina, did you get that for one that I just sent you? For another, your thoughts?
I don't know that I was offended by what she said. I think I'm just tired of Kim speaking. Because whenever she speaks, we get these viral moments.
I mean, sing. We
just
don't want to hear
sing. Just saying, no, we don't need any kind of dialogue from her anymore.
Yes,
like,
we do.
Oh my gosh, it's funny, but that's it. Like, it's like
she gives us content to talk about.
It's content, but she's not a comedian. Though. I don't know. I don't even think she means for it to be comedy. It's just
she did
stuff that she said.
Nah, she meant that.
You think that's comedy? As comedy.
The stuff she was saying, I'm not that as expensive as y'all think I am.
Live comedy. I feel like
she was trying to do a little 5-minute set.
But no.
No, she was trying to put some stuff in there. Oh, okay.
People were laughing.
Yeah, they were. Kim is crazy.
Oh wow. Wait, there's a lawyer that's willing to represent those she was bullying for free? Wow. That's wild. I mean, she was clearly speaking to somebody or people. Because that's the way it felt. Like she was like coming at somebody that she knew,
right?
But wasn't saying the names. Because she, you know what I'm saying? She was very specific about some of the things that she was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Brina, if we can get both of those that I just sent you. Shouts out to Jamal Rucker. We'll get into that in a second. So, I mean, listen, Kim's the legendary vocals. She's definitely, you know, she could sing anybody under the table. Her live show is ridiculous too. I mean, Kim's always been nice to me. So the few times that I've met her, she's always been sweet or whatever the case may be. But she will be coming out her mouth crazy sometimes about, or she just don't really care. Now, don't get me wrong, we do. Like, these cameras have gotten a lot of people in a lot of trouble, right? Like, through the course of our church lives as Black people, like we done seen people say some hilarious things across the pulpit.
sure.
Like low key, Sunday morning sometimes be like a comedy show, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that like even from a standpoint of just being even more ability to draw people in, catch, and even bait and switch or whatever the case may be to present them with the gospel. But we clown. We do clown. Our culture just clowns in general, right?
Yeah,
right.
So, but I think there's sometimes where you clowning for a certain audience that's right there in the building.
It's weird.
And then you get on that camera and it goes to the social media and then it be all kinds of joint, because it won't necessarily for the social streets. It was just for that particular building, what was going on there at that time, right?
That's true too.
But I also think like Inez was pointing out, like the classism thing that she was like, oh, do you have a house or are you in a trailer? Like,
yeah.
Like, even if they were, so like, what are you trying to say? I think like you can't dismiss that. That's not funny to me. So
I understand that. I feel that.
Oh, what Kiara is saying? What? She said she's a part of a larger issue, the mean girl culture and women's ministry prevalent in churches, especially Black churches. It is a mean girl culture. If you a minister or you a leader or whatever, don't touch me, don't touch thine anointed. Do you know I've heard that multiple times from a woman talking, don't touch me, don't touch my what? I'm in the anointing. Girl, bye. You was a human. Cut it out.
So you's a whole human. Like, saved by the grace, saved by God's grace. Like everybody else over here.
But that's the way they be talking. Yeah. Like
No, Kim, yeah, she is on some other stuff sometimes. Listen, Kim's always been sweet to me, Auntie Kim. Got a picture to show it. Me and Kim just hanging out in the back of the Stellars, just relaxing. The younger quote. Man, that was about almost 8 years ago. Anyway, but listen to this. She mentioned PPP loans, right?
She did.
Shouts out to J.R. Psalms. Is there just a website where you can go and pull up where people's PPP loans? Like, is that what it is, J.R. Psalms? Like, can you just pull up people's PPP loans? Why? So she was talking from straight up experience on that joint, right?
I mean, that's a hefty PPP loan check.
Hold on, does it say the amount?
It says $20,000 and $833. I mean, $20,833.
I'm so bored. Yeah, that's a hefty. On May of 2021. So she got that PPP loan. Why do we be so crazy about PPP loans and people though? I mean, it is a loan. It ain't like people ain't got to pay it back.
I mean, you don't have to pay it back.
It ain't a grant. You know what I mean?
No, you don't have to pay it back.
You don't have to pay back a PPP loan.
No, I had one and I did not have to pay it back. No. If you have a legitimate business, listen. There are certain steps that you have to take in order to not pay it back. So it's not a like, oh, you just get the money and you ain't never got to pay it. There are particular steps that you have to take in order to not pay it back. So like, I got a nice little loan and they was like, fill this out, do this, and you won't have to pay it back. And I surely do not have to pay it back. So some people don't have to pay it back. She probably don't have to pay it back.
Like that stimulus check. When you paying that back.
Very similar.
Y'all had me had me twisted. I thought the PPP loans was some cats paying back.
That's why people getting in trouble.
Some people probably do have to, especially because a lot of people was getting a loan on fraudulent situations. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So for people who got caught in the fraud, they had to pay every penny back, I'm sure.
Okay. Well, shouts out to my man J.R. Psalms for hitting us with those receipts real quick. I guess you can Google people's PPP loans.
They ain't looking for me.
Is that how it works?
I'm good.
She said she didn't handle that.
And I have receipts.
Handle that. And she got the receipts. Listen. So diving into the next topic here. Of course, y'all make sure to like and subscribe. It's the Tastemakers Pod. Make sure to do all the things, you know what I mean? It don't cost you nothing, but it means the world to us. Simply hitting the like button tells YouTube and its crazy algorithm that you like what you're hearing and other people need to check it out as well. I don't think I've shouted out Stephen and Levite in the chat. Shouts out to Stephen Levite in the chat as well. And so y'all do that. Yeah, so like, subscribe, share, do all the things. But so your man Joseph Solomon put out a tweet this week, got some traction. Pretty much just making a real simple comment. I held on to religion too long.
Why is it at 4 o'clock in the morning?
That is at 4 o'clock in the morning. Good catch, Goss. I would, yeah.
He is in LA. He is in LA as well. So
you think that was Eastern Standard Time? You think it was? Would his joint not say the Pacific time? No,
it'll say wherever you are. What?
Good point. Yeah. So it's really 1 o'clock, 1:13. But listen, he didn't kind of went through a thread of saying different things as well, but just based on the topic and based on the thread, which we don't have, you can go check it out on the Twitter streets whenever you want to. The question arises, like, does Reformed theology really has, what are the negative effects of Reformed theology on Black folk? And that's the question we want to propose.
You think it's just Black people? I think it's as a whole.
So of course, I mean, there could be negative effects as a whole. Sure. This being a, more Black show, we're probably focused a little bit more on how it affects Black people. And I do believe it does affect Black people differently than does it affect white folk.
Absolutely.
Really?
But, yep. Matter of fact, Trish, go ahead and break it down a little bit.
So, I mean, I know several Black folk who have walked away from the Lord, or, whether it was permanently or, for a moment, or just struggled heavily with their faith. I mean, Joe Solomon is one of them. Again, several people that we know who were in the limelight have walked away from the Lord, who was deep in Reformed theology. I think one of the effects, well, part of it too, is because when you think about Reformed theology and where it stems from, where it comes from, it's very much comes from the people who enslaved us. If you think about the biggest theologians that a lot of the Reformed people really lean to or look at, they own
slave owners.
Yeah, they own slaves. And so, with that mentality being embedded within that teaching, the way that they treat it, I think the way they treat Black folks, the teaching, the legalism, the just bad. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I'm sorry, Kyle. Listen, there's a difference between Joseph Solomon, who has openly and publicly walked away from the faith, and Erica Mason, who still holds on to the faith and is struggling with some sexuality, with sin. Those are two different ball games altogether. So let's make that extremely clear and state the extremely obvious on that. So I've seen you put out Erica's name a couple times on that. Come on, man. There's a difference. There's definitely a difference. We all have.
Stop sliding in my DM.
Oh Lord.
Anyway, you were saying, Trish.
I'm blocking him, bro.
It's just been a lot of unlearning that a lot of these people have struggled with. I think one of the other issues is there's imbalance when it comes to just being a believer. Again, because of the legalism that's embedded in Reformed teaching, people don't know how to have a healthy balance in just doing life in general. So everything is a sin, everything, which is not, right? But everything is a sin. And so for some people, it's well, I've gone too far because I've done, X, Y, and Z, and I can't come back, type of thing. And that's the conversation I was having with a friend of mine recently. And I had seen that tweet, and I was like, man, like Reformed theology, like the effect, and it's so many, right? There's so many effects, but that was one that was just sticking out to me as we were talking about it. Just that imbalance, not being able to figure out, like, what can I do? What can I do and the Lord still love me? They don't feel like God loves them, and it's
And that's
like, go ahead.
and that's the issue. That's one of the issues that I saw early on, was the lack of a love walk,
Yeah,
or the lack of being able to see God as a God of love. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So therefore, of course, love covers a multitude of sins, on and on and on and on and on. And so that's what I saw a lot of times with Reformed theology, which is why I could never rock. I was never one to really, it is what it is. There's so many different denominations in our faith. You love Jesus, you believe he, came, died, rose for your sins, yada, 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 boom, boom, boom. You good, I'm good, let's rock. That's kind of how I died. But there was a lot of walls that were being put up by people on the Reformed thighs that those essentials were not enough. Like, then you get tulip gets introduced into it, whatever the case may be. But there was so much black and white, right? There wasn't any room for red, for the blood of Christ, in my opinion. And so when people did sin, you saw them fall away or being bound through legalism, like you said, or whatever the case may be. Number one. Number two, of course, the divide there was a staunchy pride and lack of love when it came to other Christians who believed different ways.
oh yeah,
right?
for sure.
So once again, love walk. Number two. Number three, of course, end up happening, and this is what really people started really going off, in my opinion, is of course when from Trayvon Martin to Missouri, St. Louis.
Yeah.
Missouri, St. Louis, big boy.
Yep.
Mike Brown.
Know what I'm talking about.
Yes, Mike Brown.
Mike Brown, to George Floyd,
Ahmaud
whatever the case may be.
all of that.
Aubrey, yeah. So when Black Reformed Christians looked up and thought they had the support of their Reformed white brothers and thought they were just speaking what was clearly to be an injustice, their Reformed white brothers was like, nah, bro, we don't see it that way. We don't feel your pain. We don't see that as an injustice. Maybe if he would have done this, or maybe if she would have done that, or maybe we should just preach the gospel, what I mean, and different things of that nature. And so that was 3 strikes and you're out. And a lot of cats did not know how to reconcile with that and did leave the faith, you know what I mean, or whatever the case may be. Others struggled very hard with it. I think Lecrae mentioned, in his book, in his second book, how he struggled so hard with that. Just thinking that he had brothers in the faith that he didn't have theoretically, you know what I mean, or whatever the case may be. And what did that mean for all that he believed? So then you start seeing people fall away from the faith or just fall away from the denomination in general. So has it hurt Black people, in my opinion? I mean, of course it has. Has there been a myriad of things that have hurt Black people? And can we say other denominations have as well? Of course we can. So that's my thoughts on that. Goss, what you got?
Yeah, this is interesting to me because I don't see it as a race issue as far as Black people being affected by Reformed theology. And I think, just speaking to a few points that both of you guys made, the most valid one, I would say, the one that's closest to, I think we could agree on, was, these Reformed theologians, they owned slaves and things like that. But even the people who didn't necessarily align with the Reformation, when Christianity first came to America, those people owned slaves as well too. And then going to the point where I guess you're saying, the social justice issues, I saw that from evangelicalism as a whole and not from Reformed people. So it's difficult for me to pinpoint it to just a certain denomination or sect of Christianity when I saw that all over. Because to me, it didn't seem like it was just Reformed people or just that. And then to your point, Trish, when you were saying the legalism stuff, when I first came in contact with Reformed people, they were the most sinning people in the world to me. Like they were the most people. Like they would cuss, they would smoke cigars, they would drink, and this is my first introduction to people who would do these things. And I always taught you can't do that as a Christian. So the legalism for me came from the Black church. It didn't come from the Reform side. The Reform side to me seemed more free, and you could do anything. Yeah, because God still loved you. So when I'm hearing you talk, this is all brand new to me, because the Reform that I was introduced, like everything was cool, and there was nothing that you couldn't do. And like you could listen to secular music, you could curse, you could smoke, you could do all kind of stuff. And I'm just like, where's this legalism that y'all talking about coming in? Because I've never heard that from the Reformed people. All that came from my Black church upbringing. Everything was a sin. So I'm just confused. Like we must have been introduced to do two different kind of reforms.
And different areas, you know, different regions are different. You know what I'm saying? Like, on the East Coast, nah. And one in particular, one of my friends came up under a church that was under John MacArthur's teaching, and it was extreme legalism. They were Black. It was mixture. It was a mixture of Black and white, but super legalistic, hyper racist, like just wild stuff. I'm like, you know, and it's like I said, it's different. And I know I said extreme reform teaching, because there are some. I mean, we were kind of loosely reformed, but came from, you know, that teaching as well. But we wasn't like, oh, we're reformed and, you know, we only can do it wasn't like that. So it's a little different, but, you know, a lot of other people, I'm like, what in the world? What kind of teaching you been sitting under? Like, it's just, I see how it has truly affected their faith in God. Like, if they really just don't believe anymore because of the way they've been treated, the way that they've been looked at, because of, you know, they sinned and then it was like, ain't no coming back type thing. Like, I don't understand, you know, that type of teaching got to go, like, period.
Gotcha. Yeah, for me, it was when I first got introduced to the Reform thing, it was more so an emphasis on grace, and a more so emphasis of, yo, you're a terrible person and God still loves you. Yeah. Like, just think about that.
It's true, but even that grace had limitations, though.
Not the way I was introduced. Because, all right, so Trish.
No, that grace was only available to certain people?
Oh, for sure. Nah, for sure. Nah, you're right about that. But Trish, I first got introduced to Reformed theology from TJ. Like, me and TJ kind of grew up in the Christian hip hop scene, trying to get on and stuff like that. And then he moved to Chicago and got reformed, and he went crazy to me.
Oh no, Chicago was another level.
So when I called him one day and we were having a conversation, he was talking completely different from what I had never heard in my life. Yeah. I'm like, he was cussing. He was talking about what. I was like, this dude's going crazy. He's not saved no more. You know what I'm saying? Funny. So that was my introduction to the Paul Washers, to the Francis Chans, to the Masons, to the, you know what I'm saying? And then I started going to Frequency Conference, and I started going to all these Reform conferences, like really getting in it. Yeah. Like, I was hardcore hyper Calvinist for like 2 weeks. Couldn't tell me nothing about grace. Couldn't tell me nothing about like 2 weeks. Babies are going to hell. Like, if they die when they're infants, babies are going to hell. Like, listen, I was on some other stuff. All right.
Oh my gosh.
But like,
just 2 weeks.
Just for 2 weeks.
Like, I was a whole other conversation.
Like, I was going on Facebook, starting mad drama. Like, it was crazy. It was wild. But yeah, so like, that's why I'm not struggling, but I had a different experience when it came to, you know, Calvinism and Reformed theology and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was just interesting to hear y'all say this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, my personal experience wasn't like that. Mine was similar to yours too, but other people around me, other Black folk around me who have just struggled so much come from that, what I'm talking about.
Gotcha. So, okay.
And I would say even a little bit of that trickles over to the Black Reform, loosely reformed folk too, but it just wasn't as extreme. You know what I mean? That's all.
Yeah. And then I think it picked up, I think Reformed theology picked up a lot once Lecrae got popular and once Reach Records got popular.
Sure.
So then, the whole Young Restless Reform movement and Cray was going crazy with it. But I mean, now it's like an afterthought. Like people really aren't reformed anymore. Like they're not waving that flag anymore.
Yeah.
But they get, just like all the time when Black people will catch on to something, it gets popular. And they make probably millions of dollars off it, whether it's Tommy Hilfiger, Polo, Reformed theology, whatever we like at the time, that's what's popping.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
And yes, I remember P4CM, and that went down quick too because
sure did.
It was a mess. It was some goodness in there, but it was a mess. Leadership was a mess. It was just crazy. Like,
Brina, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what all three of you said. But yeah, I also saw like the issues through evangelicalism as a whole too, because legalism, I didn't see it just as exclusive to Reformed theology. Like, I grew up in a Black church. I grew up Pentecostal. So yeah, it was a whole lot of that. It's like that across the board. I think all of this, ultimately, as a believer, it just makes you long for the day that, Jesus unites everybody. Because with like all of this division, there's so many different holes, and to how all these different doctrines form, Satan can find things to pick away at to try to deceive people away, from Christ. And I think once we get to that place to where we can unite, and the Lord can bring us all together, hopefully we can get through all this stuff and weed out all this extra garbage that's causing people to stray away.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Was like, are we saying this? Like, we're saying it's confirmed. Like Joseph Solomon was part of that reform camp. He was with them dudes.
Oh, very much
Absolutely.
so. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, most def. And so yeah, it's just funny how different people's experiences and introductions to such, bring about. But yeah. It's definitely. But you bring up a good point, Brina, just about denominations in general, and I just think we really do have to get to a place. Listen, Christ is coming back for a bride without spot or wrinkle. We've got to get to a place where we can be unified and be thick as thieves on the essentials. Yeah. And I mean, there's reasons why there are multiple doctrines per se, or whatever the case may be, and interpretations of the scriptures, or whatever the case may be. So if we can come together on the commonalities, which are a lot of times 80-90% of the situation, instead of being so easily divided of the differences, which are literally 5, 10, 15% of the situations, we would do a lot better. And that comes with a lot of humility, a lot of respect, and a lot of honor that we just sometimes don't seem to have.
Yeah.
So that's that. Let's keep the party going. Y'all know how we do. Check out the chat just to see what's going on and what people are saying in the chat. Make sure the guys to run them likes up, as we have already said. Let people know what's going on right here by sharing and different things of that nature. What's the chat talking about here? P4CM being problematic. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. I said Justin Cox is back on YouTube. He needs not to be.
What's he doing or talking about? Interesting.
Yeah.
People can change, but I'm curious.
Yeah, Kira, I agree with that. I don't understand how some Reformed cats or even evangelicals can read instances where Jesus clearly addresses social justice issues.
So
and
weird.
Be like, I just don't see it. I don't see it. Just preach the gospel. I'm like, Jesus didn't just preach the gospel. That wasn't just the hits of it. So
people just
that is very, very interesting. But let's keep the party going here. Your man TD Jakes had a clip come out. Your man Seagal shared this with us. The question is, are we raising our women to be men? This is going to be an interesting conversation, I think.
This breaks all sociological orders of the culture we're living in now. Because we are raising up women to be men. And you are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you are climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families. I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house. But until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away. Oh, y'all ain't gonna talk back to me this morning.
Yes, they are, Jakes. They talking to you.
Listen. So, your man, TD Jakes, y'all say what y'all want about Jakes. When Jake speaks, you know what I mean? And so, God, since you're the one that shared this to the group, what you got, man?
Man, listen, Jakes ain't never said nothing more true in his whole entire life. You understand me? That boy Jakes was spitting, yo. Like, that's the greatest 16 bars I ever heard in my life. Like, that man was going crazy in that joint. You heard? Like, bruh, I've been trying to say this forever, like, among my little, circle, my little circle of influence.
And Kiera,
like,
you realize it was just a clip of a sermon, a very small clip. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, you got to realize, like, yo, in the circle, like, women have had this mentality that they have to do stuff on their own because, and I always say this as well, too, it's because men haven't done a good job of being men. So because men haven't done a good job of that, and there's been gray lines of, okay, well, what is a man? And what is a man supposed to do? Like, I totally believe in gender roles. So, but because there's a gray line between that and there's no leadership with that, then people are kind of making up their own stuff. And when the leader is not leading well, then you have all this chaos going on, right? And that's at any level of influence that you're at. So because I believe that, men are the head of the household and men do things people follow, like the family will follow what the man does. And if not, that's out of order and there will be chaos when stuff doesn't. I wholeheartedly agree with what Jakes is saying. Now, I believe that it's unfortunate that we have this idea of, because what Jakes was describing, they call the strong Black woman. So I think it's unfortunate that we have that idea of the strong Black women, because that, again, is an indictment more so on men not doing their jobs. But like you said, because men aren't doing their jobs, we have to applaud women for doing all that stuff. But that doesn't mean that this is a good thing. Like, it's nothing for women to brag about that they don't need a man. It's nothing for women to brag about that they can pay their bills all by themselves and they can buy a car by themselves, they can get a house by themselves. Like, that's not like something to be proud of, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But again, on this topic, I'm probably conservative. I'm probably not, the popular opinion when it comes to that. But this has been my, I've been preaching this for years. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I feel about it. But I think Jakes was spot on with what he was saying.
Indeed. Brina.
Don't be texting me mean faces.
I think most of that bragging, it comes from a place of the rights that women did not used to have. The fact that we can now...
I just want to challenge you on that. You believe that most of that bragging comes from women not being able to do certain things or whatever, and now having the ability to do that. You believe that's where most of that bragging comes?
Yeah, for a certain amount of people, yeah.
Okay.
For a certain group of people, I think it does. I mean, the other piece of it is being petty. But I just don't know. I don't see why you would need to broadcast it. We have songs that have been written about that, that subject. We've seen characters in movies and sitcoms, play that role. But that's just what you get with the distortion of what the family unit is supposed to be. And you have, man running around trying to define, everybody's trying to find their place, in this world. And when you get away from what God originally intended, it's like, this is what we get. Everybody's trying to fight, for their own space.
Okay.
But I don't see it as a negative, though.
All right. Don't see it as a negative. And I think go ahead, Trish, and then I'll jump in.
No, say what you were about to say. Say what you were about to say.
I think from a lady's perspective, I might not see it as a negative either. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? I think from a lady's perspective, I think I might see it as a negative either. And the reason why I was challenging you or pushing you back on you, Brina, about it being a women couldn't do and now can do, and that being majority of the push. Because that is something, right? Like, what you're saying is very true there.
But you know why I say that, though? Just kind of thinking back to conversations I've had with, like, both of my grandmothers. My grandmother and my grandfather, so they were married for 65 years. And my grandmother got married when she was 15. So from her, yeah. So they were in the South, like in the deep South. So the way that they grew up and the different opportunities that she had, it was important for her to see her daughters and her granddaughters. You guys are going to college. You're going to get a career. You're going to do the things that I didn't get to do, because she had to depend on my grandfather. Like, that was the culture. So that's why I'm saying, like, once my generation gets to a certain space to where it's like, yeah, it doesn't really come from, like, I'm trying to one up, anybody else. It's just, that is something to be proud of. Like, yeah, you did achieve something. So that's what it is.
And it is. It definitely is. I mean, it is something to be proud of. I'm starting to wonder, though, in the year 2022, is that still the thing? You know what I mean? Or is that still the majority of the thing, right? And the reason why I say that, and when I, say that about women in general, and we've talked about this before, is because I sometimes wonder if other cultures are preaching the same thing to their women, or do we mostly see this being pushed in our culture?
Our culture.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So the independent woman, I don't need no man, boom, 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 boom. I'm wondering, we see that pushed mostly in Black culture, and then I wonder why is this
these
pushed
Hillsong
mostly in
girls
Black
will tell you quick they need a man.
So these Hillsong girls.
Hillsong.
And so listen. Let's obviously be frank. Just as Goss said, a lot of times the reason why this problem arises, or the reason why this problem is here, is because of Black men being out of place. First and foremost, hands down, right? Without a shot of a doubt. Now, Black men being out of place, we can blame on many things, from slavery to Jim Crow to crack epidemic to police brutality and the justice system and whatever the case may be, right? There are agendas and systems that I would say, I believe, have been literally made to take us out of the home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely believe that, right?
Yeah.
So in that, this has made women, Black women, have to step up and do all of these things, and whatever the case may be. And then even after that, it was further, in my opinion, somewhere the agenda was to push that into Black women that and of course, we're talking generalities here, right? We know this is not only Black women, but we do see it a lot in Black circles where, hey, I don't need no man. I'm independent. I got my this, that, and third. Boom, 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 boom. And listen, y'all don't heard me rattle out the stats before. When it comes to new businesses being created, Black women is killing the game. When it comes to graduations from college, Black women is killing the game. Home ownerships, Black women is killing the game. Shouts out, salutes. Y'all doing y'all thing. the issue becomes, from a woman's perspective, this is beautiful. This is great. This is awesome. Y'all is doing what y'all doing. You know what I mean? But then you start really ripping at the core of men. And what I mean by that is what TD Jakes said. Whether or not y'all realize it or not, we need to be needed. And if you don't need us, we will find somewhere where we are needed, or we will literally nerf ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And when I say nerf, I mean just become a lot duller version of ourselves. Yeah. We need to be needed, really. And our place as men has really kind of, you know, dang, where do I fit in? Does she need me? No, she don't need me. Why am I here? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, why am I here doing what for who? You know, she's got these degrees, so she make more money than me because I just got out of the system and I can only get so many jobs or whatever. I'm just saying there's so much to it, right? And I do think eventually we're going to have to stop preaching this independence thing. The same way I do believe men have to do what they've got to do to make sure they can provide and protect and whatever their families, you know what I mean, or whatever case may be. I don't know that this is the way for our long-term success as a people. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong. I just don't know that this is the way for our long-term success as a people. That's my thoughts. Trish.
You said you don't think we should be preaching independence like at all.
No. Not at all. No. It wasn't an at all situation.
Less about being independent.
I think we've taken independence and we've built an altar to it.
I think that's true. I mean, I think it's true, but I think it's hard because, you know, as a woman, and I know many single women, right? And they value the independence. They value, you know, like them being able to move up in the world and have the good paycheck and have the home and all of that stuff. Because, you know, that's what they've been given. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them are women who actually want to be married. They actually want to have a husband. They, you know what I'm saying? But they're kind of in this predicament of like, well, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta boss up. You know what I mean? And I think too, to what Brina was saying about, you know, I think specifically women's rights, but also Black women specifically, who, like, Black women have not been in the past, and for many decades and years, have been looked down upon, right? And I feel like now, like right now, you know what I'm saying, in terms of independence and us killing it and all these things, like he said, we're climbing up the corporate ladder. We killing it. We're literally killing it. And I think that for some of the single women who are able to do that on their own without a man, I think there are some things that are missing in terms of them feeling like, oh, I don't need no man. You know what I'm saying? I don't, because it's like, oh, well, I've done all this on my own. I don't need no man. Now, I'm going to speak specifically to the Christian women because, like, that's a different. I don't want to speak to all women, like, because I'm a believer, and this is I take my P's and Q's from the Bible. So I think that, you know, we have to, like, I'm trying to figure out how to say what I want to say without, like, you know, being harsh or whatever. But I think that it's important to humble yourself a little bit. Like, even if you do make this money, you do all these things, whatever, it's great. Like, no man should ever diminish that or ever like, you know what I'm saying? They should not, like, be like, oh, well, because she do this, she don't need me. I ain't gonna try to get, no, like let her upgrade you. Like, what, I mean, what's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with a woman who is killing it? Maybe you're not killing it as much as her, but think that he said say it with your chat. I can't look at the chat. But I think that you have to leave room if you really want love and you want to be married. Like, I think the women who are killing it, who are in these places, have to, give a little, you know what I'm saying? Kind of bring your pride down a bit. And I know that it's hard to do that because there's a lot of men out here who don't deserve your time. There's a lot of men out here don't even deserve to look at you. I get it. I totally get it, sis. But you might miss out on the one who is like worth your time because you're so, you know what I'm saying? You're so in your stuff. You know what I mean? You can't get out of it. So I just want to encourage women, you know what I'm saying, to like those who are killing it, you know what I mean? You feel like you don't need a man, but like we all need helpmates. Like we all need a helper. We all need somebody in our lives. And I'm not saying that everyone is supposed to be married because I know that is not the case either. But if God has called you to marriage and called you to be with a man, like give him a chance, give him an opportunity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't let your pride block your blessing. Like, because sometimes our pride be blocking our blessings. I'm just saying. I've seen it.
For sure.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot to say to this because it's such so many nuances, you know what I mean? But I agree. I agree with what all of y'all are saying. I agree with Corey wholeheartedly. We see eye to eye on that for sure. For the most part. What did you say?
So-
Kira said I need Jesus just to do a system reboot on. Well, yeah, like definitely. Like I think. That's the other issue. Like, even I was about to say, ninjas is scared. Ninjas is scared, right? Or they just don't. They have these preconceived notions about women who are killing it and don't want to approach them, or don't feel like, they automatically feel like, oh, well, she don't need me. I was like, well, wait.
Yeah. So
like,
I like so. And so me
The
and
louder
Gauzy,
the louder the girl screams that she doesn't need me, the more I know that I can bag. That's my
and by
approach
bag.
to
His
it.
bag means he can get the number.
Yeah, the more she's screaming, I don't need no man. This can be too easy. Like that's how I feel. Like
so listen. And listen, there's nothing wrong. In my opinion, the Proverbs 31 woman in the Bible, she was a boss.
Killing. A whole
She
boss.
was killing outside. You know what I'm saying? Had her own business. Everything was doing a thing.
Yes.
When she came to the house, she still handled her business at home. But so it's the ability to
do both.
Maybe to do both, right? To if you want to be a boss. Can you take that boss cap off when you get home?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
I don't think we're being taught to do that anymore. I think our ladies are being taught to do that anymore.
I agree.
Be a boss everywhere. And I'm just letting you guys know from a man's perspective.
No,
right? That's all I can speak from really is a man's perspective. Listen, if you express that you do not have a need for us, our thought process is, what am I here for then?
Mm-hmm. That's real. Because
we've always been taught that we were supposed to be these things, and well, these things you are. it's just it causes the conflict.
I don't necessarily think like that. So if a girl would tell me that, I would laugh and give her 10 things.
So listen, I'm not. Okay, so there's parallels, right? So yes, I'm with you. When I was a single man and I heard a woman say that, I was like, yeah, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. I'm with you 100. I'm talking married dudes, and I think that's what Jake's was talking about too. Is I don't need.
I feel like when I get married and my wife tells that to me, I'm still gonna laugh in her face and be like, all right, we'll carry these groceries upstairs, carry this washer and dryer to the car. Since you don't need me, go do all those things by yourself. Because you don't need me. Go change this oil, go change this tire, do all that because you don't need me.
Listen, I need my husband.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'll tell any girl that. I don't care if I'm married or single.
I'm not even going front. Like I'm a boss. I make money. I make good money and I got a dope behind husband with some amazing kids. And
Yeah.
even though things have changed, like I raised my children from birth, like I was home with them from birth to now, up until now, and I'm still home. But of course, roles have changed slightly because of my job. But I'm like, we have an understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like
Man,
it's
I'll
about
give a
taking care of
girl.
my family with my husband. Like my
Yes,
money is his
sir.
money. Like it's our money. It ain't just mine. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a family, and I think some women kind of be like, it's my money. So I mean, he need to get his own situation. Da 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 da. And it's like, but sis, like y'all are one. Like you gotta change that mentality.
Inez, you a single woman. I ain't talking. In my opinion, I ain't talking to you. I ain't talking to
Oh,
a single woman
for
about being
sure.
independent.
Yeah.
You ain't got no choice but to be independent.
No,
What
you're
I'm
right,
trying
Key.
to
You're right, Key.
what I'm trying to tell you is what we're starting to see is a lot of people who have been single independent for so long, or even have been single mothers for so long independently. When a man enters the picture through marriage, that independence is not dropping. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Now, if you're a single woman, ain't nobody asking you to. I ain't who you. It's you. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You got to do what you
Yeah.
got to do.
For sure. I think though, for some single women though, like, and I don't know, I didn't hear the whole sermon, so I don't know exactly who he was referring to, but I have seen single women be like, nah, like I ain't messing with no dude unless he earns 6 figures, period. Like, huh? I mean, it's very like, you gotta have this, you gotta have that, you gotta have this, you gotta have that. Like, I ain't messing with no, you know what I'm saying? And I think in that sense, you miss out on a lot because you're limiting yourself. And I'm not saying, don't hear me say, um, you know, bring yourself so low and, make yourself don't have standards. I'm not saying that either, but I'm saying that every good man may not be making 6 figures. You know what I mean? Like, and that's okay. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like, there are some men out there that are amazing who don't make 6 figures. That's
That's
all.
facts.
That's all I'm saying.
That's true. That's true.
That's facts.
And I know that my husband is an anomaly, and there are other men out there that are great husbands that are anomalies. But Destiny, she said one of my fears is if I ever marry, how do I drop my independent ways? It's a transition. It ain't going to happen overnight. You got to work on that thing. Listen.
And
But
as
it's
a
a
man,
transition for guys too.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying. Because we've been independent all our lives. So it's a transition for us to let people help. Yes,
I'm not saying it's not, Goss. I do feel like it might be tougher for the ladies. I think it do from maybe even just a trust standpoint. I mean, maybe guys might be more. I mean, because we don't really be looking at ladies like, ooh, she needs to make 6 figures. You know, what I mean, that's just not.
Yeah.
Ain't no man. I don't know any dudes that approached a woman based on what she has materially. You know what I mean? That's just not. It's not our bag. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we're talking about. You know, that's not our thing. So. Yes. When anytime anybody's coming into a marriage, both parties have to change. Both parties have to make adjustments. There's a lot of dying to oneself. Yada yada yada. Boom boom boom. From an independent standpoint, though, I think a man, theoretically, if we're using gender roles, has been taught more so continue to produce, protect, whatever, be independent, quote unquote. Continue to do those things where a woman might be asked to. Scale back on some level of some way or whatever the case may be through the nature of things. Some people would say that's even just through nature, just based through a woman's ability to nurture, based on the fact that, theoretically, if you have a marriage and it's a Christian marriage, okay, now a pregnancy probably might come, whatever the case may be. And it means a woman's going to be doing that for 9 months and then probably doing some bonding stuff more so than a man would even after the baby's here. So just naturally, you know what I mean? A woman might take a step back from the corporate drive to handle some things in the family, where a man is not always asked to do those things, even just from a natural standpoint, right? So I think it is a bigger adjustment for you guys per se.
Definitely, for sure. It is a huge adjustment, but I think you gotta have a relationship with the Lord. Listen, because all of this stuff, it can get so hard, and like, if you and the person you're with, y'all not seeking Jesus on how to even do all of this, then it's gonna be trash anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be a mess. So, like, honestly, the Lord is the only, like, He is what has kept me and my husband. Like, things could have went left. I needed therapy. I had extreme trauma, and so it's like it's not always the men who need therapy either. Kiara, just to her point, like, some of us need the therapy sometimes more than the men. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's just like if you're progressively and continuously working on yourself, each of you, and you both come to the marriage like, yo, like, let's be intentional about these things, then, it's gonna work. You gotta fight to make it work. And you gotta fight to even like put yourself in a position to, as Inez said, she said, I'm gonna be giving them and trust my whole livelihood. Yes, that's hard, especially when you've been independent for a while. When you're in your 30s, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little harder to break out of that. I was early 20s when I got married, so it was a little bit easier, but it was still hard because I was doing my thing. Okay, I was doing my thing.
Listen.
And you know what I mean? And I depended on my dad a lot, so it was just weird. But I'm saying all that to say, like, if you have a relationship with the Lord, like, all those things can happen well and in an excellent way, and it's not going to be easy, but it'll be better.
Yeah. So my question becomes, of course, as we wrap this topic up, we have glorified the independence. We've glorified she got her own. We've glorified that maybe she don't need nobody. Are there other women, or are there mothers, or are there mothers anymore in general, you've been asked, but what does it look like from a woman's perspective? Is anybody really walking women through that adjustment? Okay, well, you done ran your whole freaking life. You done took care of these kids, or whatever the case may be, as a single mother or whatever, and now you're joining in with a man. Like, is there really anybody to say to y'all, or to help y'all, or walk y'all through? Is that even a thing, really? Like, walk y'all through what that looks like, or whatever, or how to maybe take a certain hat off, or it's now time to wear a different hat, or be multi-hat wearing, you know what I mean? Does anybody, is that really even a conversation that happens? And I'm not, I mean, on a, it's obviously, we would say it's not a conversation that's happening as much as we're saying, get your own, be independent, run your stuff. We're not, so is that conversation really happening in correlation to that other conversation that's so big?
Yeah. I mean, I think that I was gonna say what Kara just said. Like, if you're, as a woman, like me, because I think I'm in both worlds of like being a boss, or having my own business, but also being a wife, mother, all that stuff. Like, I know that I'm kind of an anomaly too. So whoever is around me, I'm always intentional about talking about that stuff, discipling, mentoring, whatever. But like, other women got to step up too. Like, and I see a lot of women who just be in the house chilling, and I understand it's a lot going on, and especially if you're a mom and a wife and you're doing a lot, but you have to be intentional about like teaching others and showing others how to do this in an excellent way. or we just gonna continue having people who are lost and, not, in a good place. Next time at me, Trish. Yeah, sure.
So I mean, at the end of the day, and like I said, not trying to put all of this on the woman. Lord knows, guys are trying to get, hopefully by the grace of God, guys are starting to get back into their place, or just being able. Maybe they ain't. Maybe they ain't. You know what I mean?
Y'all need to be out here teaching these men because.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't.
For sure.
I rarely see.
So okay, really okay, and so I'm involved with a lot of that kind of stuff. So I see a lot of that stuff happening as well. But it's like I said, what I want to try to do to the ladies here, as a man is, and I'll ask y'all to do the same thing to me as women, is I would love you guys to see the male perspective the same way I want y'all to show me the woman's perspective. Do you feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I just want y'all to understand, if you don't need a man, that man, he got to be real good with Jesus to be able to hear you say that and still continue to carry that thing out. You feel what I'm saying? And just shake it off, per se. Because men want to be needed and have a need. They have that need to be needed. And if not, a lot of times, unfortunately, they will find it other ways elsewhere. And it's not always infidelity. Sometimes it is just, all right, well, I'll just dive in hard at the church, minister at the church, lead this at the church, because I need somebody to feel like, and that's just how men are, you know what I mean, for the most part. Or they'll just completely nerf themselves. And when I say nerf themselves, I ain't talking about self-deletion. I'm talking about all that purpose and vision and whatever that was in them, they'll just quench it all and just go inside. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. So that's that. That's an interesting topic right there. Y'all, this look that y'all are giving right now, y'all are giving that look too early. We have one more topic, okay? You're giving that look too early. All right. Listen, let's go ahead and hit the chats real quick and just make sure I see what everybody's saying in the chat. While we're doing that, make sure to like and subscribe, everybody. Make sure to share, tell a neighbor, tell a friend what it is we do right here at the Tastemakers Pod. What's going on with the chat, y'all? Let's see here. Are men discipled on what leadership looks like? I once heard someone say, ooh, what was that? Oh, here we go. I heard someone say that leading a family should be like an iron fist and a velvet glove. So yes, authority and sternness, but also kindness. I hear you, Kiera. Definitely. The men I'm around are definitely, listen, man, I signed up for a husband boot camp at my church today. I love it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? This is just the kind of stuff that we have going on as we're just constantly trying to make sure that we are being the best husbands that we can be, or whatever the case may be. It ain't easy for y'all, it ain't easy for us. Everybody trying to get it right. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of what it is. And if I could be extremely frank, and I'll put myself out here, man, I thought I'd be a lot better of a husband than I am.
That's real.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so marriage is like that.
I feel the same as a wife. I'm not gonna lie, I be feeling the same way. So I get it.
I thought I would be a lot better husband than I am. So even when you have to hit that reality, like, dang, you ain't what you thought you would be in this situation. You got to step it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a hard one. So let's see here. Everybody's good. We got that. Inez, I'm hoping that you done relaxed a little bit. Inez, you're a single woman. You got to run your own ship.
Of course.
You got to handle your business. And hopefully when that time comes for you, hopefully you will be able to, trust and just, follow the scriptures on how that looks for you and your situation. Because every situation is indeed different. Stephen the Levite said R&B lied to us. That's probably true. I'm going to just be a female eunuch. Then go be with Jesus. Kiera's silly. She said without the mutilation, you was real silly for that one. Listen. Let's go on to the last topic of the night, y'all.
Yes.
So, last topic of the night. Of course, we ask ourselves, are certain cultures maybe getting hammered this message more than other cultures? And we've talked about this on the show before, and whatever the case may be. But Lord knows, your man Jay Ellis just got hitched. And you might ask, who is Jay Ellis? Well, of course, I'm talking about my man from Insecure. Of course, what's Jay's name on Insecure? I can't think of it right now.
Lawrence
From Insecure, right? So Lawrence from Insecure, aka Jay Ellis, put up these wedding photos of him and this Wahite chick. And the internet went abuzz to the point where dude had to shut the comments off.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yes. Yeah. So really, let's really talk about this, okay? Because of course we all can sit here and say, of course we're okay with interracial marriages, yada yada yada, boom boom boom. Get it how you live it, love who you love, yada yada, boom boom boom. But if we could be honest, and based on Jay Ellis's comments, there's a lot of judgment there, is there not?
I mean, I didn't see the comments. However, he's been with this woman since he started the show, just FYI. So I've known for years that he's been with her. I knew they wasn't married, but they have children together. And I think a lot of people, especially Black women, because a lot of Black women think he's handsome, like they like the way he looks. And when you think about how invested people have been into the show, right?
Black love show.
All you see is him with around Black women, right? So you thinking, okay, this man got to be with a Black woman because that's just what your mind is ingrained in seeing. You know what I'm saying? So when you see him outside of the show, and you're like, hold on, who this? Who is this? For people who didn't know that he's been with this woman since the beginning, who it is? You know what I mean? So I think that they're just having a hard time. They're just having a hard time processing the fact that he's with a white woman, which it makes sense based on like how our brains work. And this is like more scientific, but how our brains work, like we see something all the time. It's like, okay, well, I'm expecting that, but I think it's fake outrage because this man has been with this woman for forever. So
it's a good point. Very, very good point. Kiera put, as long as he don't start talking crazy about Black women, then he can love whoever he chooses. Now, look, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. When a Black man, because myself, I'm not married to a Black American woman. Many of you listen to this. I'm married to a Brazilian woman. That's some of y'all don't understand that that's more African than sometimes Black Americans. But anyway, all that to be said, when you marry outside your race and you still pro-Black, you got to go like twice as hard, 3 times as hard. So when Kiera is like, as long as he don't start talking crazy, no, this is just going to make him further go hard on supporting Black women and supporting Black things. That's just kind of how the ball works nowadays.
Yeah. And you're right, Charles. You're right. I do think that Black women do applaud people like Serena or just Black women being in a loving relationship, even if it's with a man who is not Black, because they know how hard it is to find a Black man. Like, I get that. And it is kind of a double standard, but I think it is sometimes in our day and age, I think sometimes it is a little disheartening to see, and not just me, but like, the majority or a lot of Black women, sometimes it's disheartening to see a Black man marrying a woman outside of their, a white woman specifically. I'm gonna just say it because they're like, well, we over here looking fine and got all the stuff together, this and that. And y'all, so I understand it sometimes can be, just disheartening and disappointing. I get it.
Goss?
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying, like, yeah.
Man, oh man. It's so funny how these last two topics tie in together. So I can almost guarantee you probably that.
By the way, I did that on purpose. But go ahead.
Of course you did.
So I bet you that all those women who are upset that he married this beautiful Nubian
Nubian?
queen. Not Nubian, I'm sorry. This beautiful white queen. What are you talking about?
Yo, but Goss just said something like, don't y'all be a little upset more when she's like a white when she's white and then she's like really, really ugly? Like she's a cute white girl. Like y'all be a little bit upset, like even more when they be ugly. I feel like
I'm gonna just shut up. That's what I'm gonna say.
No, say what you got to say.
No,
Is she not cute?
No, I'm not alabaster queen. Porcelain. No.
I just said she's very beautiful. I think she was a cute white girl. Go ahead and finish your point, Goss, and I'm gonna bring it back to beauty.
So I believe that it's interesting that, or not interesting, but there are probably a good amount of women that were in the comments making negative comments were also the women that were probably strong, independent, Black, don't need no man for nothing. They probably subscribe to that, whole ideology. And it's interesting that they get upset when a Black man who, like you said, quote, wants to be wanted, wants to be, loved properly and all that kind of stuff, marries a woman who probably does understand that she needs a man, who does understand what it is to be, just, I would say, available in different ways that her man feels needed. And like we acknowledged earlier, was that it's typically Black women who feel the way that they feel about the independent side of things. And I can say that I can speak in expertise from this because I have been on both sides. Where currently I'm among these Hillsong women as who would call it that? Kiera would call it. Yes. And I still am in the Black community as well too. So I play both sides very well. And this narrative that we were talking about earlier, I believe, is more perpetuated in the Black women side of things. And that's not a diss. That's just a reality.
No, I would agree with you.
So I don't like. You're mad over here because he married a woman that he probably loves and probably doesn't have the same ideologies that you have towards Black men or towards independence, that kind of stuff. But then you're upset because you don't have a man either. But you have to understand that you have this ideology of I don't need no man for nothing. So it makes no sense why you'd be upset. So I say much love, much success, and that they go do their thing and have many kids and upset all the Black women that are out there.
All the Black women.
Many kids and upset all the Black. Listen. And I think you got to be careful about the vibes that you put off, right? Because even I hear women in my head saying, "Look, I'm not like that. I don't feel like I need to be independent. I don't feel like boom, 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 boom." But I think you have to also be careful about what you put out. You know what I mean? The vibes. There's vibes. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. But anyway, Brina.
It's crazy that Black women can be demonized for being a responsible adult. I'm gonna just leave that there. But that's not all the people who were in the comments, though.
Has nothing to
I know.
Do
I
with
just wanted to say
women.
it, though.
It sounded good, though. It did sound
but
good.
No, but it's just like I think when it comes to like interracial marriage, I don't care. And I was happy like when I saw this photo. I think for Black people, we become so invested in like the TV shows and movies that we watch that I don't know many Black people who actually know like the actors' real names. Like a lot of the comments I saw was Lawrence married a white woman. Like, how dare you? So it's like, I think it's just, some people, they don't follow like the actors' real lives. And then you see this photo and then it's, oh, huh. And then, they give them the side eye from that perspective. But I mean, I don't think it's just, a whole bunch of Black women hating just because. And it could have been some, but
had to turn
I think it was both
off, Brina.
I saw the comments before he turned them off. I mean, it was both sides. I think it's just Black people in general. I don't think it was just all Black women.
Okay.
There's some Black men that aren't too fond of interracial marriage either. So it's not just on us.
You're right. You're right about that. I agree with that. 100. I agree with that. And I won't. Again, I wasn't even trying to say necessarily that the interracial situation was something that only Black women get mad at. No. I've seen that both sides across the coin. I want to bring up probably one or two things real quick concerning this, and then we'll go ahead and get off since Trish just literally yawned in the camera. So let's see. Listen. So beauty and how that plays a factor in this. I was watching something you'd be watching things on like Facebook video or something like that, or Instagram video joints where they'd be like, well, they're like rate a bunch of women, like 5 guys rate 5 women, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, or something like that.
Rate?
And so rate, R-A-T-E, R-A-T-E, rate.
Yeah, rate. I thought it was a different word too.
Rate, R-A-T-E, rate. Okay.
Thank you.
So, and so they rake these. So it's like maybe like 3 Asian dudes, kind of one guy that might have been Pacific Islander, which is still kind of Asian, but also they could be having that Black element to him too. And then there was a white dude, all right? Yeah. And these total of 10 people, 5 girls, 5 guys were in. Each of them had like boyfriend, girlfriend that were there as well, right? And they had to rate each other. And there was this cute, only one Black chick, cute as a button, right? Cute Black chick or whatever the case may be. And when they rated all of these people, they let the girls rate themselves, and then the guys rated them. And when the girls rated them, the Black chick was at number 1. She was number 1. She got number 1. After the Asian Pacific Islander white guy, even though the white guy was with the Black girl, so he put a number 1 too. But after that, she ended up being at number 5, the end. And so it's a big uproar about, just how people maybe see Black people, yada, 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 boom, boom, boom. Well, and they kept using the words, she's not my type, she's not my type, she's not my type. They kept saying that. And I was annoyed and I was upset. And I was annoyed and I was upset. And I was annoyed and I was upset. And then I came to myself and I realized that when I ranked these people, the girls with the less melanin were all at the end of the line for me. And the girls with more melanin were all at the front of the line. Mm-hmm. And what I had to come and just realize and come to myself is, as a man, I have to admit, I'm normally not attracted to white women. That's another reason why I was like, yo, JLS got us like, she's a cute little white girl. Because normally I'm not attracted to white women at all as a Black man. So can I really be upset that this Asians and maybe, whatever the case may be, that they didn't find the Black one attractive or wasn't their type, when I do that all the time to white women? Can I be upset?
It's preference, but I also think deep down, because of our history, and I think that does play some type of part in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah. So I found that interesting. Just as I was starting to get upset about it, I realized that, hey, quote, you're being hypocritical because you put all the white girls in the back of the line. So
yeah.
But yeah, no. I do think that, there is, of course, more to it just because of, history and colorism and colonizations and all the things that go into that.
All the things.
But yeah, all the things. But yeah, so that's that. And then lastly here, boom, 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 boom. Also, does it matter that Lawrence is theoretically probably a a 6-figure nigga by the name of Jigga. Does that also play a part in it? The fact that he's a 6-figure cat. And like it's like taking another, like you see these football players with these white chicks, or you see these entertainers with these white chicks. And does that play a part in why people be upset too? That's my last question for the night.
Probably. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, and he was with this woman before he got where he is now, honestly. So,
right. But then there are some people that probably didn't know that.
Yeah,
and then proceeded to just speak from their ignorance.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I would think majority of people didn't know that, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
My thought process.
What?
So,
oh, Kiara, you're hilarious. You put Chris Brown, Usher, and David Banner in a line. I'm sliding with David because he a thickum. I cannot.
Inez put wealthy black men dating non-blacks as a common trope. So my question would be like that. I mean, so yeah, that's an issue, you know, and that's the thing, and you see that. But then I started to think about that too, and I wonder if wealthy blacks just end up being in rooms and spaces with less blacks in them. And does that play a part in it as well? I'm just asking.
That's not his thing, because I mean,
obviously, but of course we know he's been with this woman forever. So I'm talking. We're not talking about JLS, right?
You're talking about other wealthy black men.
Yeah,
I would say yes. I think was it me and Kiara? I don't know. I had this conversation with somebody or other people. We were talking about like athletes and who is around them more than, you know, the black women. Sure, you got your groupies and stuff like that, but like typically it's mainly others, you know. So I don't know. It's not all the same situation. It just, you know, depends on the situation. But majority, you know, I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing. I feel like there needs to be a study, and I'm sure there is some kind of study on it. They start black and the women get lighter and lighter. That too is probably
now Russell Wilson. He went the opposite direction, right?
He surely did.
He did.
You know what I mean?
He surely did.
He was raised boom, 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 and
that's a fact.
Next thing you know, boom, boom, boom. He went the opposite direction.
He did.
I guess this is all to say. This is all not so black and white. But
Indeed.
So, of course, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Tastemakers Pod. Make sure to like and subscribe. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend what it is we do right here. We are fresh, grown, black, and Christian. And you can tell people about us, because that's how we grow and we get more people in the community and talking and stuff like that. We are coming up on our 1-year anniversary, and I just think that's real, real special that we've been real consistent for a year. We appreciate all of you guys for rocking with us. We're going to check these comments one last time, so get your last chats in, and then we're going to get up out of here. What we got in the chat, y'all? Trey Songz put on blast for now allowing dark-skinned women in VIP. Destiny. Trey Songz got all kinds of issues, though, from what I hear. Like I go hard from VA caps. I really go hard for VA cats. I don't be going home for Trey. The things I'm hearing about Trey Songz.
No, he is toxic.
That's not the kind of stuff.
Toxicity.
I don't know that I can go hard for him.
Toxicity. Your birthday coming up, Inez, when? Oh, invite all our previous guests. Oh, that would be cool.
Oh, okay. She's about a virtual party. Kira said, Inez, when your birthday? Judon said, quote, apology accepted. My bad, dude. I got caught up in the Virginia thing. I did.
Facts, Kiara.
Inez said August 17th. Well, my birthday is July 23rd. My birthday is on Saturday. So it is what it is. Charles Brown said VA all day minus Trey. I think that's the way. I think that's the way right there, Brown. VA all day minus Trey is the way.
I didn't know
that. I didn't know that either.
He is from VA as well. Thank you, Inez. Happy birthday to you as well. Leo. You a Leo, right, Inez? Yep. August 17th, I think, is still Leo territory. Trey Songz is about to be Kel's the remix. That's probably true. Yeah, I hear he did some things to Keke Palmer, and it was
It's been a lot
Trey
of
is
women
not,
he's like
yeah,
assaulted. It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's not a good look at all.
Like,
But
why?
I just,
Yeah,
man, I just,
that's a
some
lot.
cats, they really got them issues. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's like when some people have all they want, they like try to go further to take what they want. Does that make sense? It's like you have stuff thrown at you, but then I mean, obviously sin, depravity, all of that for sure.
Yeah.
It's like, I have all this stuff, but now I want to go past that. Like, it's just
And insatiable. I mean, I think at the end of the
yeah,
day, it's hey, I've got all this access. I can
yeah,
get all that I want. So now what I really want is what I don't have or can't get.
right.
And I think that's maybe where it goes, and that's just so evil,
Facts.
in my opinion. But I mean, sin is sin. Yeah, I just can't rock with Trey. Nope. So that is what it is, guys. I think that's a wrap. Again, like, subscribe, do all the things, y'all, and we will check you guys next Wednesday night right here on the Tastemakers Pod as we are entering into our almost a month away from our we're about a month away from our year anniversary. So again, we appreciate all of you guys for that. That's Trisha Bell. That's Light Skin Corey. That's Brina. They call me Quote. We are the Tastemakers. We'll catch you guys next Wednesday.
Peace.
Tastemakers.
Classic. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers, aight. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers, aight. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. For the movers and shakers, for the new tastemakers, sommeliers came out to play. Classics in the current day. For the movers and shakers, for the new